Welcome back to Hardcore Ultimate Iron Man. I want to do some Slayer and some hard clues that I get there. So I am completing and unlocking various hard clue scroll requirements. This is another one crossed off the list. 68 fishing for entering the Fishing Guild. Just over here at Otto's Grotto. Had to go through a single dialogue choice to be able to pick up the Barbarian Rod. But overall, very easy. Not doing any tick manipulation or anything. Just dropping some fish. So, yep, there we go. That is going to be, by far, the easiest requirement unlocked today. And here's a beginner clue casket. Oh boy. Honestly, 7 law runes? That's about as good as you can hope for from a beginner clue. Next up, I'm going to fill some hard stash units. And I need items from my looting bag, which is incredibly full currently. But between items I can wield and nature rune stacking, we have just enough to play with here. We're ready to run out into the wilderness, destroy, and quickly pick up as many things as we can. Hopefully all the things. That is the idea. Anybody shows up right now, there's a nice big pile of things for them to touch. And we don't want that. And there we go. Our outfit's looking snazzy. Our inventory's looking a mess. And we're going to immediately need a looting bag here to put the things we don't need back inside. The first stash unit that we're building is up here at Jokel's tent in the mountain camp. Runeful Helm got as a drop. Fire Battle Staff got as a drop. And blue Dragonhide chaps. Easily crafted. Was holding on to those 2 drops to purposely put here. So that now saves us all that inventory space, which is nice. And next is near the Cat Pyramid in Sophanem. This one we could have filled at pretty much any time, but we finally have what we need to replace the items required here. Adamant two-hander, Ring of Life, and a Glory. And now, we don't have a Glory, so we need to go make another one, which is easily doable, since we have a Crystal Key. I mean, we still need to get a +5 stew boost, so things could be easier. But already having the Crystal Key gets us a lot of the way there. And our other reward is coal. I don't feel like messing around with coal right now. Just gonna drop that. Could put it in the looting bag. We have space. Whatever. 1 Dragonstone. Becoming a Glory. That was quick. There's a Dragon Amulet unstrung. And the rest of it is of no consequence. You can string it even without the crafting level. So that's taken care of. Then we just need to get the runes to enchant it. All very easy. That will replace the Glory that we had here, which will be useful, because for the next stash unit, I need to get a drop. And having a Glory, that's pretty good for having stats. somehow we have ended up training Slayer in order to get a drop to be able to do hard clue scrolls to train Slayer. But we got the wrong 1 in 128 drop here. We got a granite shield. That is actually useful for another stash unit. But we can't do that one quite yet. So, if we have the space, this will just hang out in the looting bag for a while. We're also here on Death Plateau, instead of where I wanted to be, because our Slayer task is here. And these guys are still an option for getting what we want. So, here we are. 26 kills in, and we have it. That is 2 1 in 128 drops in 26 kills up here. Well, there it is. The Rune Warhammer. Just what we needed. That was a bit faster than I expected it to be. Honestly. Just needed to make another set of blue D-head chaps and an elemental shield to store the Rune Warhammer here at the Fishing Guild, which we had just gotten the ability to come in here without needing a boost. So this has all worked out very nicely. And now, there's just one more hard stash I'm going to fill. But we literally cannot afford it. So I'm going to go do some thieving. Thieving really is convenient when you can never fail. Already nights. Now we have much more money. So we can get everything we need here. We need to buy a Rune Halberd for 83,000 coins. And then we also need to buy, in Edgeville, the only expensive thing here, over with Oziach. Gonna grab a Rune Plate Body for 84,000 coins. Very expensive. So that cuts our cash stack down quite a bit. Still better than when we started, so not bad. We also have the strength amulet that we made, and we can go and store it at the Host Sidious Mess Hall. And that is the final hard stash we can fill right now. There are other ones, but they require things that we either can't get at all. 80 Slayer for Rune Boots. Can only get from Clue Scrolls, Stoles, Rune Heraldic Shields, Rune Heraldic Helms, or they're out in the wilderness, where I wasn't going to go anyways. Overall, we've got roughly a majority, maybe like 50% of the stashes. Less ideal than the easy and medium and beginner, where we have them all. But still, better than when we started. So since we can no longer work towards filling any of the stashes, we move on to one of the few other requirements we have left. We need a song from A Kingdom Divided. We have all the requirements, all the quests, all the stats, combat stats, equipment. So let's do a quest. The quest starts here, east of the Kurend Castle, with Martin Holt. They've got a whole demonstration / protest going on here, wanting monarchy. He is part of the Kurend Royal Society. They are protesting the council. What's wrong with the council? What's right with the council? Better question. They was only supposed to be temporary. after the last king died, they're supposed to wait until his daughter came of age to be the ruler. But then she went mad. Very convenient for them. And now, the council has become permanent. He's not a big fan of democracy. As much as there's supposed to be elections here for the council, it just keeps being the same people. That's pretty convenient. So now, things are getting even worse. How so? We recently dealt with Councillor Sophia Hughes in the previous quest required for this one. And she was a Zamrakian demon worshipper. So that was a whole thing. And now she's escaped. Nobody knows how she escaped. They're trying to keep it on the down low. Trying to hide something. We are looking for them to slip up. And then we'll have all the proof we need to take down the council. We can do a bit of investigating, shall we? But we're going to need permission from the Royal Guard, Commander Lydia Fullor. She's in the castle. Here is the commander. They're the leader of the Royal Guard. And I'm here to help investigate. I've been talking to Martin, and they know all about him. He is quite the nuisance to the council. He even worked there before. Never told me about that. They have different opinions on the council, as you might expect. She's got a better view of the council. Like the smell in Port Piscarius. Smells like fish. And all sorts of stuff you'd find in port. Used to be 10 times worse. The council installed the new sewage system there. And everything is better. They've established trade with the East. And if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't even be here. Councillor Hughes has escaped, though. And that is the main thing she's worried about right now. We need to get her back in the cell. I can help with that. I'm not doing this for Martin. I'm just willing to help. This investigation could go a little biased towards the council. But if I'm involved, I'm more of an outside perspective. I can help. And I do have the experience. So we get allowed on the case. We start with no leads whatsoever. So we'll head to Councillor Hughes' house. See if there's anything we can find over there. And we walk in on Thomas Lowry and Captain Yenna here. They have already started the investigation. Also, he's taking credit for what I did previously, because of course he is. my minor contributions. This is a Royal Guard investigation. You don't need to be here. But he is pulling his authority as the counselors have put him in charge of the investigation. As the leader of the council, he can do whatever he wants. But still, he'll allow us to help in the investigation. So at least that's something. And Lord Shazian sent this captain, trying to get this all sorted nice and quick. We have things under control, I promise. This is council business now. It'd be rather embarrassing if the army needed to step in and help us. What a mess. But we're going to leave the politics to them and focus on the investigation. Let the investigation begin. We've got all sorts of stuff we can search here. We got some shelves with nothing in them. Here's a table. There's water on the floor. Thomas Laurie is here. Got some cabinets. We got a delivery confirmation. Not too helpful. Thomas is out here. We're going to ignore him. Head upstairs. We've got all sorts of other stuff we can search. We get a receipt talking about the Deeper Load pub. They want to get a bed there for some reason. Find a map on the desk, which highlights the Chasm of Fire. Nothing's in the bed. If we head even further upstairs, there's a lesser demon right here. So that's definitely something. They were a demon worshiper, so that checks out. If we head down here, we can talk to Thomas. And I'm going to tell him I found something really useful. Looks like they're at Mount Quidamortem. And so, he will go handle it. That was a lie. We have sent him on a goose chase. We're going to just go follow up with this receipt. When it says a receipt for a bed, it doesn't mean they're purchasing a bed. It means they stayed the night here at the Deeper Load. So we can talk to Fuggy here. See if he's seen anyone recently. The counselors. Sophina Hughes in particular. They don't get many humans here. So there's only one recently. Last night. Didn't look like a counselor though. Possibly in disguise. She left right before we got here. She was heading to Port Piscarilius. Possibly trying to escape on a ship. And then, earthquake or something. That just happens here. Nothing to worry about. They live on a volcano. So, great idea. Anyways. They were going to talk to Veos. That's probably the ship they're going to take. So I need to get over there. Lickety-split. Here's Veos' ship, but he's not here. Only a cabin boy, Herbert, is. Veos was here until that earthquake, and then he wandered off in a trance. He'll be looking after the ship until Veos comes back, whenever that will be. But we're on the lookout for the counselor coming over this way. She's trying to get here, board the ship, and leave. So we need to stop her, obviously. We stand lookout. Here is the commander. Trying to see how we're getting along. Also a bit of spying. That's fine. She's booked passage on the ship, and now we're waiting. A decent strategy. And there they are. You won't get past us. Going somewhere? This is all my fault, isn't it? Or, rather, it's your fault for getting into this situation in the first place. We're not here on the order of the council. We're doing this ourselves. Bringing you to justice. They were in it together. The counselors were. She's not going to tell us the whole story, of course. She calls forth the Judge of Yama. Bring justice to the unworthy. Cleanse them in a sea of fire. Cleanse them in a sea of blood. Demon Worshipper and Demon Summoner. Those that oppose you will be judged in the name of Yama. And also, you will be judged. You've betrayed their trust. Your life is forfeit. Bathe in the sea of fire. Bathe in the sea of blood. And here is the Judge of Yama. Hi, how you doing? They will bring justice upon us. We are enemies of Yama. We endanger their work, and our lives are forfeit. I'm going to get rid of you. I challenge you. Our guilt will be determined through combat. If we succeed, we're free to go. Otherwise, we bathe in the fire and the blood. Yeah, we get it. We've been summoned to another dimension where he's standing over there. And we are running past firewalls. The Judge of Yama is immune to magic and ranged attacks, but easily defeated with a bit of melee. I also pre-potted before I came over here. Lost a bit of stat boosts in the running over here in the dialogue, but it's fine. And now we get teleported away again. We need to dodge the firewalls. You can also just run through the firewalls if you're feeling spicy. But we don't have a huge amount of food in our inventory, so this will be fine. Only attacks with melee and the firewalls, so easily doable. Just need to dodge a bit. Yeah, see, we ran through the fire, and it also has a burn effect, which is also not great. And now we're back. Trying to be a little bit too quick to get past the third firewall before it gets fired. But that's what the food's for. And we're perfectly fine here. We have been judged, and our ability to run past firewall holes and pray melee deems us worthy, I suppose. Goodbye, demon guy. We're the hero, once again. We've dealt with this situation. In just our short time here, we've already helped so much. We're a firm friend of the council. Well, she still escaped, though. I'm trying to get to the bottom of that part. As for our dealings with Martin Holt, I wouldn't really call them dealings. We've met, at least. With the situation with Sophia, it's caused quite the impact. People are angry. And it's time for Martin and the protesters to go home. So we have to go convince them. Because of course we do. Don't want any civil unrest, I suppose. Good luck to me. Yeah. Commander Fullor will continue investigating what happened here. But we need to leave. Meet me outside, south of the castle. I'm not gonna do that. This is a very unofficial meeting we're heading to here. Clandestine and whatnot. The counselor, Hughes, was a deranged cultist, and it's really shaking her faith in this whole system. There was a man and girl she spoke of in her mad ramblings. Most likely, the king and her daughter. It was very convenient how things happened. The king dying, the daughter going mad, or maybe it was someone else. The daughter's name was Rose, and she was too young to be the ruler, so advisors took over, and then that became the council. The council declared her mad, and then they took over. And it's been 20 years now. Rose moved away somewhere to escape all the conflict here. Where? Nobody knows. Which is also suspicious. The royal guard and no royalty. It's a whole thing here. We've got to follow the evidence. But she can't. But I can. Councillor Andrews seemed to be happy with the situation. But in reality, he's furious. We're just an adventurer. They won't be paying attention to us. We need to find Rose. She's the key to the truth. She knows someone that can help. The leader of Kren's Royal Society knows more about the royal family than anyone. It's Martin. Let's go talk to Martin. Seems like there's even more people over here after that whole fiasco. We did what we needed to do. Everybody's pretty mad about the whole demon summoning bit. That was pretty noteworthy. Also, we got some guards here now, keeping an eye on us. Anyways, I need to talk to you about the council and about Rose. We're going to keep this secret between us for at least a little bit here. if only to not alert the council to what we're doing. The king and his daughter, they're definitely involved. But we need proof. The dying words of occultists, not good enough. We need to find Rose, and we can figure out what happened then. No one knows where she is, though, or if she's even alive. There must be some idea, some hint we can work with. Maybe Rose can help. They didn't declare her mad immediately. It took a few weeks until she was moved away. So in that time, she did some writing. Even wrote her father's memoirs. So if we can find the memoirs, which we do have, not with us though, we can find some other stuff that should give us some hints. They didn't want Rose's things included in selling at an auction. Only her father's possessions. Very suspicious too. They didn't want anyone getting their hands on whatever Rose wrote. In particular, Rose's personal diary went to the Library Historical Archive. So that's a good place to start. They won't let us borrow it, but we can still take a look. Or just kind of take it. To the archive. Archeo can teleport us to the archives, because of course they can. And here we've got all the stuff we need here. We need to find the diary by pickpocketing a key. Because of course we'd get a key. Why not? Then we need to open the display case here. And we grab Rose's diary. Years of private thoughts of Coren's last princess, but nothing immediately obvious that's going to help us with the investigation. So we're just going to take it and head back to Martin. Okay, got the diary. Here you go. He looks through, and there's nothing obvious, like we said. The council would have looked through this before even allowing it to continue to exist. So, we're being a little more clever. And opening up the cover, we get a note. This is the real deal. Find a great ruin that has withered and died, a seat of power lost in a war of pride. Now that sounds like a clue, a riddle, a hint. We need to find this location, and maybe we'll find something of use there. We're going to split up so as to not make our movements obvious. He's probably just going to stay here, and we'll go figure out what's happening, because of course we will. Looks like he beat me here. We just went separate ways. We're here at the Forthos ruins, which is definitely where the note was leading us. It was destroyed in the War of the Five Houses. And that fits the bill. Now we need to look around these ruins for our next clue. Martin was working with the council, as we learned. But he changed his mind. He now sees the truth. So that is why he is now working against the council. And founded the Royal Society. He didn't mention that he worked for the council before, because it wasn't relevant. At least in his eyes. So now, we're here. Let's find what's hidden. I'll get searching. We have some fun vines right here that we can chop down with this super convenient bronze axe that we brought. Love to see it. And we're looking around for very specific things. There's panels on the wall, and there's a combination lock. So what we need to do is find the combination. It's going to be hidden around here somewhere. There's a tile under the stones that says 08. So O goes to 8. We bonk a skeleton. Accidentally. Very helpful. S3. We've got E is also 8. We need one more down here. R5. What we do with this is switch out the letters for numbers. The password is rows. So when we switch in each of our letters, we find a note. Rose's note. Out in a land that is frozen to the bone, a village of statues not made of stone. Another riddle. Oh boy. So we give this to Martin. And we can head to a frozen village. We're going to split up and obviously arrive at the same location. Because that's how this works. Where better to find some statues not made of stone than frozen guys over in the frozen ruins here. Martin is, of course, already here, because why wouldn't he be? Very cold here. We can already see the panel here, so we're in the right place. But we get an assassin. Oh no. They're level 132. They have dragon dagger and dragon knives. So our setup is not ideal for this. Rocking the D hides, protecting us from the range attacks. But we've got more than enough food and prayer to win the day for us here. Very high level assassin. He's here for Martin, not me. So we continue to get in under the radar of our enemies. Just kill him. No worries. And then we can continue looking into the clues here. And he's dead. I am perfectly fine. That was nothing. So yeah, the council is sending an assassin. Assuming that was the council. Either way. Time to look at our new clues. Open this panel. We just need to have a look around. We got a bunch of ice chunks around the area. And a cannonball. That's something else. Looks like this area was probably destroyed by the wintertime and all the coldness there. So that's interesting. We need a key to open up this panel. We got ice chunks, ice chunks. Inspect these ice chunks. These are special because there's a key inside. Just need to blast them with some fire magic. And we're good to go. One icy key to unlock the panel. And we find another note, because of course we do. Hearty drinks are a sailor's friend, where one long journey comes to an end. Riddles, riddles, riddles. Here we go again. Also, this time we're looking out for assassins. It's a pub near the docks. A much better location than the previous one. Rose really put a lot of work into this puzzle. Also, how? When would she have set this all up? Also. Either way, we need to figure out what's happening at this location. Find the hole in the wall, another note, whatever it is. Just getting a little bit more lore from Martin here. We'll have a look around by immediately climbing up a pillar. Because of course we do. Where we have the panel. It doesn't move. We can't see any way to open it. All it says is that one day, all the citizens of the houses will know the truth. And the order of the houses is what's important here. If we climb back downstairs, we can mess around with the statues in the same order. Press a button. Press another button. In the order that said, upstairs. Press. And press again. And another one. And then we hear a click. Always a good sign when you're doing a puzzle. Panel's open. And we get another note. And a cutscene. Problems have arisen. Thomas Laurie is here from the council. And he's here to arrest Martin. Because of course he is. for inciting violence against the council. That really has not happened. But they're not going to care about that now, are they? They are the rightful rulers. Or so they claim. You will not silence everyone. And he has to come quietly. This is obviously not going to help their cause. But here we are. And again, we sneak in under the radar. They don't care about me. And that's their biggest mistake. Because we have one more note here. An unlikely home is sat by the sea. In the shadow of a mountain. There you'll find me. Shadow of a mountain, eh? I'm coming for it. A rundown shack. Right near Mount Karul. Search for another note. And it's a note to Rose by L.O. They're sorry. They thought what they were doing was right, and now they know it wasn't. They didn't mean to hurt her, and they hope that she'll understand. And also, secret trapdoor. Climb down. And what do we find in the basement? A woman. Lying on what appears to be a stone slab. Rose, perhaps? And then, here's a man. We're both wondering who the other one is and why they're here. I'm not welcome here, but I don't care. This has become a whole situation. I'm looking for Rose, and that's Rose. And you are another one of the counselors, Liam Orson. He wants us to understand, but it's pretty clear what's happening here. We've got the princess just lying there. You really need to explain what's going on. There was something wrong with the previous king. He had some flasks that he drank of, and it started to change him. It was cursed. He stopped being himself, started saying really concerning things, and so they killed him and took the throne for themselves. That wasn't originally the plan, but things escalated. Rose found out what they did, and they could not risk her telling anyone. So for 20 years, she's been here. So the only question now, is there anything we can do to help? She doesn't seem to be aware or conscious in any way. And we've locked the counselor in the room over there. So now, is there anything we can do? Anything at all? She's defended the council all this time. And for what? Why is she like this, though? They gave her a potion that they got from a mage. It would stop her revealing the truth. An Archaeus mage. An expert in curses. He gave the poison for the king. This mage? Never told him his name. Which is extra suspicious here. A random mage shows up, tells them to poison the king, incapacitate the daughter. Also, they were an expert in curses, and the king was cursed. That seems pretty relatable. That seems pretty related. They claim they had no choice. Instead of just trusting some random mage. Who also made Rose this way. It has no cure. But they can keep her alive with potions. At this point, there's no turning back. He meets the mage, outside of Mulk. He lives in the temple with the lizardmen. We need to find out what this is. So I'll head to Mulk, and I'll find him. What a mess. Down in the Lizardman Temple, I'm going to talk to this Lizardman here. Kot Baalam. I'm looking for a mage. The Yokal Ak, as they call him. It's the mage that guides them. He has another name in our language. He's been here since their master walked among us. He was sealed away, but now he's been released. I need to see this mage. He's right behind that door. There's his lair. The shamans have the keys. So, how about you give me your key? We can come to an agreement here. A trade of sorts. The mage sends the lizardmen to fight the humans. But Kot here is done with the fighting. We need to help him by retrieving his egg. If he wants to leave, he's not going to leave the egg behind to end up having to fight in this war. One egg for one key. Seems reasonable enough. The lizardman eggs over here in a nice big pile. Don't know how we're supposed to know which egg we're taking. But we can immediately get attacked by a lizardman brute. Goodbye. One egg. Yoinked. One egg for one key. A fine trade. I swear that's your egg. I swear. This mage is dangerous. But I'm sure we can take him. Unlocked the door. And go through. Very fancy pillars in here. And a gate, which we go through and listen in on a conversation. There's a mysterious voice talking about making an effort to find him, and a second mysterious voice talking to their lord, the lizardmen, blaming him for the Lord's disappearance and being sealed away for centuries. But now they've been set free. And the Lord has been found. And now they're back together. What diabolical things are they up to? Working from the shadows. The world has changed. That earthquake from earlier was a large amount of dark energy being unleashed. They've lost Quidamortem, but they still have ways to access the Dark Altar. And this council was also part of this mage's machinations. With the council coming to an end, their plans have been sped up. Corinne was always expendable, though. And now, they've got bigger goals. It's time to deal with our guest. That's me. We get teleported in. We see Veos teleport out. So Veos was the other voice and the quote-unquote lord here. And here is Zamfir. We know too much. So it's time to fight. This isn't the part where he tells us their plan. This is the part where we die. Look at him. Look how fancy he is. Alright. One fight against this guy. He's got many special things that he can do. Like protect from magic and using magic. And also dropping a bunch of hands, which we can easily just walk away from. And continue shooting. We've got marks of darkness on the floor, which we need to be careful of. If we walk into there, we get a debuff kind of thing, which is not helpful. His hands are coming. No thanks. Now we have the debuff on us, which is eating away at prayer points, which is not what you want. Let's go with a bit of running here. Followed by my hand. There's the hands. Hands are doing a handy job of being hands, I guess. We need some good angles we can just run. helps out. Use another prayer dose and a piece of food. Protect from magic does not protect from all the damage. Just run away from the hands here a bit. Beneficial for us. Don't need them messing with us. And then back to the boss. He's got a fairly sizable amount of health for a bone crossbow to be taken on. But we can manage. Just running. Just running. You can also walk this, which is fine. We're almost halfway done here. Supplies are looking fine. Our range level is high enough to manage. It poked us again. Hate it when that happens. Yeah, having prayer drained that amount, pretty concerning. But we have enough. Die by my hand, huh? Running. Running away. You can also attack while that attack's happening. But that's just extra difficulty I don't want to deal with. I got enough going on. Keep our health nice and high. Prepare for the next special. The hands are very good at getting us corrupted here, which is not great. Not a big fan of having all this corruption happen. Less than ideal. Draining all of those prayer points. Hate to see it. But he's down to only 100 health here. So we're doing just fine. Run away from the hands. Run through there. Huge mistakes. Eventually we'll run out of run energy. And then we can just walk it. That's fine too. But being able to run away from the other hands is also beneficial, so it is what it is. Hand attacks. Hand attacks. And now we're walking. Fantastic. Trap that other one behind for a little bit, so it can attack me less times. Maybe we can get away with not getting affected. But the battle is almost done. Use a decent amount of resources there. And now he is still fine. Shoots lightning at us and we fall down. So, boss fight. We didn't win. We just survived long enough until he left. And he thinks we're dead. I look pretty dead. But I'm not. Now they think I'm a zombie. So they're leaving. But we lived. Just barely. And now we can take a look around. We got a fun table. Covered in books. Take a read about all the stuff that's happening here with the council. And all of their secret plans. They're going to steal a Shazian general's corpse. They've got dark altar devices. Rose is still technically alive. It's all a mess. It's all a mess. Returning to the shack basement. We have all the information we need now. The counselor has been moved somewhere safe. Probably jail. I found the mage responsible for all this, but they got away. And it's left me with even more questions. His name was Zamfer. And he was controlling the council, among other things. He was talking to Veos, who disappeared in that haze. And he seems to be the master here. More about the council and the Dark Altar. Quite the situation. He was working with Counselor Andrews, manipulating the other counselors, killing the king. And Andrews was in on it from the start. They want the Dark Altar for whatever they're doing. They were responsible for the recent death in Arceus. Just a whole lot of stuff going on that we need to deal with. But first, Rose. The poison that they were using has literally destroyed her mind. There's nothing we can do. And now that the potions aren't going to be coming anymore, this is the end. This is no life. Rose died long ago. All that's left is a shell. So, without the potions, she's truly dead now. A very nondescript grave marker here. The commander remembers times when she was on patrol and would come by this house every morning. Or rather, Shades in Patrol came past her house. Whatever. She always wanted to join the army, to help people. But instead, all she was helping was the council. She just wanted to do her best. But it was all a lie. What a mess. What a mess for everyone. We'll stop the council and make everything right. But we can't do it alone. The 5 houses of Korend really have the power here. So we can have them replace the council. But we need to get them all on board with the plan. And that's what I will do. Get all 5 leaders and head to Zarek's Lookout, southeast of Shazian. Rose really should have had a proper funeral. But this is nice in its own way, I guess. We better get going. We have a lot to do. We need to do tasks to convince all 5 leaders of the houses of Korend to join us at the tower. And that's going to take a bit. So we need to continue next time. Goodbye.